All right, folks, we're going to get started, and if anyone else wanders in, they can pick up when they get here. Today's going to be really about engagement, about revenue, about driving things forward. So we're going to talk a lot about social promotions. So put on your sales cap first and foremost, although we're going to hit on some of the other benefits that social promotions have. So we're going to talk about Valentine's Day. Show you a couple examples of those being run. Yes, I realize it's probably a little late in the game to sell, although there may be an exception to that. But we also want to prep you for the next round, whether you're a big St. Patrick's Day community, you've got Mother's Day, Father's Day, end of school, summer break, etc. coming up. We're going to revisit, of course, the restaurant and weekly giveaways, which are something you can run at any time, and spend a little bit of time on Mother's Day at the end. Again, if you have questions, please do remember to post them in the sidebar. We're talking about social promotions, but we're happy to address technical questions, audience development, other sales activities, etc. So we're going to play back and forth, Ryan and I, today. We're going to talk about what goes into effectively running a social promotion. I know some folks have been maybe a little dragging their feet because they feel like there's a lot that needs to happen to run a promotion. The good news is, yes, there's a lot that needs to happen. Or rather, the bad news is, yes, there's a lot that needs to happen. But the good news is it doesn't mean it has to be done by you. So we're going to talk about how we're working with a few folks today.
So the first part of how to promote a social promotion, we'll talk about how to do that on your website. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is the site modal. For those that may not be familiar with that, that's a pop-up that comes up on your home page, or actually any page on the site, once the first time somebody visits your site. And Brian is going to show you an example that he's got here pulled up while I'm talking. This is a great way to draw attention to the promotion you're running. This would link out to either a Facebook app or your Facebook page or wherever it happens to be running. And we'll talk about where you can run these in a few minutes. And just as a side note, outside of social promotions, modals are a great way to promote the directory or get people to subscribe to your email list. So when you're not running a social promotion, make sure you're taking advantage of this feature. It takes all of about 3 minutes to set up a site modal once you have the graphic. The other way to promote on your website is by putting a graphic in the sidebar. The sidebar shows up on pretty much every page except for one or two on your site. So you'll make sure to be front and center with anyone, even if they don't see the site modal. Maybe they've already visited your site, they're a regular visitor. The sidebar is a way to make sure to capture that audience in a different way. You can see here that these graphics, while very similar, are slightly different. Part of all the graphics we're showing you here are the graphics that we'll create if we're running the social promotions for you. If not, these are things that you need to be considering during the design phase. And just lastly, I'll mention that you could also, instead of doing a site modal, you could post it as an article. Maybe you write a little something about their business and say, hey, we're running this social promotion for AV Center in Grand Targhee. I'm not really sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but the point is you could pin that to the carousel, so there's different ways you can promote it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of how you think you can get the most out of it. You should at least do 2 out of 3 of these on any promotion.
And one of the great things, too, just as a sort of reminder, is when you're running these, it's a way to reinforce that you and your brand really get the way that media is evolving. And so it's also a nice plug for you as subject matter experts, as well as just simply a way to get more people to say, hey, that's cool. Did you do that for me? So obviously there's some things that need to happen on Facebook. And for many of our publishers, we're admins, many of you on the call, we're admins of your Facebook page. Not that we're overly eager to go posting all sorts of things, but we're happy to help in some of these ways. So I'll let Ryan talk about the different touch points that Facebook represents, or rather the ways we can leverage Facebook to drive success here.
Thanks. There's a couple different things to consider talking about Facebook, and if you haven't kind of figured it out yet, when we talk about the website and Facebook, and in a second when we talk about email, this isn't just doing it on Facebook or just doing it on a website. It's how can we leverage each individual, I like to call them pillars during the training, to get your message out to your audience. So when we're talking about Facebook, the first thing you should do is, if you're running the Facebook as an app on your Facebook page, you want to make sure to promote that in the tabs. So that's that top right section where it says Winner Getaway, enter now. Those are customizable. You can change the image, put whatever you want in there, but you want to make sure that the contest itself is visible there. So if someone happens to visit your page, they can click on it and enter. But the unfortunate reality is that I think it's 96% of the people don't come back to your actual fan page after their initial engagement, which means their initial like or their initial comment or whatever their interaction was. So in order to make sure that they see the post or see the contest, you need to be posting regularly in your feed. And the three bottom images here are three different examples that we threw together for this particular contest. Again, this is Idaho Falls, to kind of follow along with the previous example. And what we do is, we would go in and, periodically, at least once a day, post something to your Facebook page and say, hey, make sure to enter. Here's the link to the contest. There are different times within the day that are better. Typically, first thing in the morning, at lunchtime, and late in the evening are the best times to post. So again, you can use the scheduling feature if you're doing this yourself to kind of hit those times. That would be like 5 a.m., maybe 11:30, and then either 6 or 9. Depending on whether you're trying to hit the early crowd or the late crowd. And then, depending on, how you choose to administer your app, there's some things you can do around sharing. When we set up a Facebook app, we'll always make sure to do a tell your friends or a pop-up that says share this with someone you know, those kind of things. So that's what you see in the upper right-hand corner. That graphic is what we call the share graphic. It's a different size than everything else, unfortunately, so it's one more step. But it's an opportunity to help you make a contest go viral. If someone gets really excited about it and sends it to 10 of their friends or posts it on their timeline or whatever it may be, that's how you start to get people more engaged, coming back, and you drive entries that way. Anything you want to add, Brian?
No, I think it's pretty good. I mean, obviously you've got Facebook. You want to prime the pump, and sometimes publishers will feel like, well, I don't have a huge audience, and the notion of audience size varies. In the case of Idaho Falls, they've got almost 6,000 members. I'm proud to say when they started, they had 3,400, which was a good audience to start with, and through social promotions, they've been able to tack on many, many more, and plus they just post good stuff normally. But the thing is, social media math works in your favor. And also, it's not just about your fans. When these contests really go, it's because that person really wants to win. And I either get extra entries for sharing with my friends who enter, or if it's running a contest like a photo contest, I want to get my friends and family to vote for me. So I share to them a lot. And so you are the catalyst, and your fan base is the catalyst for this spreading out. And so the average person on Facebook, as of a couple of years ago, had 230 friends. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's definitely higher. But we'll use 230. Well, if you have 500 fans and all of them have 230 friends, then you have a reach of 115,000. Now, sure, some of those friends are overlap and all of that, but for simple math, we'll leave it as round numbers. So all of a sudden, you have a potential reach of 130,000 or 115,000 people. How is this? Well, if one of your fans sees something and hits like or comment or enters and shares, because again, we're incentivizing them to share, their friends, or at least a portion of them, will see that. And so the key to social promotions is, one, getting sponsors who have prize packages that are desirable, restaurants and day spas, of course, cash cards everybody would appreciate. Or on the contest front, there doesn't always have to be a cash consideration. Sometimes I'm really proud of my kid. I want him to be named cutest kid, or my dog, or my flowers, or my whatever happens to be the thing I'm proud of that you want to build a contest around. And so people act for those intrinsic, well, it's not really intrinsic, but it's those social rewards more than the financial ones. So the way that social media works and the way that this goes viral allows us to ensure success if we follow these steps, even without a huge social media fan base. Anything you'd like to add on that? All right, I got the thumbs up to move on from Ryan. So as we continue marching and you're looking at this, so we've talked about promoting on your website, we've talked about promoting on Facebook. Now we're going to talk a little bit about email. I'm going to let Ryan share one of the things that he's doing with one of his parents' publications.
So email, I guess unlike the other two, is a bit of a different animal in the fact that it requires you to do a few things either in advance or at least consistently in order to leverage this medium. And the reason is, if you only send out an email every time you have a promotion, you're not really providing a lot of value for the people on your email list, and you'll risk kind of alienating people and having them unsubscribe. So before you start using, email, you should kind of commit to at least sending an email once a month. That way, when you do have a promotion running at the time, you're just adding it to what you're already sending, and it's not overly, overbearing on the people on your email list. So, you got to commit to doing it once a month at least, if not more. You need to do it consistently. If you do it 1 month and then wait 3 and then do it another month, totally defeats the purpose. And the last thing I'll mention here is, use segmentation. So what I mean by that is, if you were on the call, I don't know, a month and a half ago, we talked about setting up email groups. And one of those groups was, inform me whenever there's a sale or promotion or a deal or a contest or whatever it may be. You can send more emails specifically about social promotions to that segment because they've said, hey, I'm interested in that. So use that to your advantage. Typically what I will do is I will send one general email announcing the contest out to the email list. You can see the example here on the screen. That goes in the normal email that I send to everybody. And then, let's say it's a 2-week contest, maybe midway through the second week, I will send a second email just to that segment of people that want to know about promotions to say, hey, don't forget, you only got 3 days left. Come and enter. Tell your friends. Do all these things. And then, sometimes I might even in the next, general newsletter I send out, I might even announce the winners or say congratulations to so-and-so. If I have a picture of them, I might include it. So there's some things you can do around email to get the word out, or just, get people excited about promotions in general. It's a little bit different than Facebook in the sense that this is a more captivated audience, so you got to be a little bit more careful about how you approach it. But you get all these different options for content on your newsletter. So again, it's coming back to just talking about newsletters in general now. You can repurpose things you're doing in social promotions to provide content for your newsletter. So once a month isn't really that difficult when you're out selling these social promotions.
And this is one of the areas where just a little bit of planning and forethought goes a long way. Setting up your email list, making sure you have the right groups, putting it on your website, talking about it in your publication, the Business Basics page, to go back to audience development conversations. These things, they take a little bit of time, but they're sort of there once they're there. And every time someone opts in, you get this new audience. It's like having a new print subscriber, right? I mean, they really want to see what you have. And to Ryan's point, you've got the segmentation, and so you can message them with various avenues. And what's great, Ryan said don't send just social promotion stuff out, but it is still part of the content. So in what you see here, this was their, I think, their monthly email that went out to their big audience. And one of the featured pieces of content is the promotion. So while it's not everything, it's part of it. And again, we talk about, let's reuse content from here over there and repurpose this for that. And so it doesn't have to be reinventing the wheel with everything that you do. And hopefully you can see you've got the 3 sponsors there. There's a lot of added value that goes into this. And so when you start to look at the different consumer touch points and the way that the sponsors can be present, you start to realize, wow, there's a lot of value here, no wonder. And then, of course, when it goes viral, something special happens. I will say we're not talking a lot today about the the use of print for social promotions. It doesn't usually apply for the weeklies, and monthlies are really good to promote in print either up front to get people to go from reading your publication to enter, or afterwards to announce the winners and thank the sponsors, or both if the timing works out. So when you really want to up the ante, when you have a sponsor that's looking for more exposure and frankly you'd like to make more money, you can tie in print as well. So we're going to talk for just a minute about how you can technically execute this, and Ron will talk about the difference between the two Facebook options and what you can do on your website.
Yeah, so the important thing to remember here is that it really doesn't matter where you run the contest, whether it's on Facebook, on the Facebook timeline, or on your website, because regardless of the promotion, you should be using every channel that you have, whether that's Facebook, website, print, email. It's just a matter of what your ultimate goals are. So if you want to really leverage Facebook and get expanded reach through the promoted posts that we were talking about, and collect email opt-ins, or maybe you're working with a sponsor that wants to run some kind of photo voting contest and use those photos in marketing collateral in the future. Facebook app is an easy way to set it up and drive more engagement on that front. Their tools are a little bit more, I should say that the app we use to run the Facebook apps are a little bit more robust in the fact that it will allow you to upload from Instagram and Twitter and all these other social networks. The Facebook timeline is if you have something quick and easy that's potentially maybe doesn't have a sponsor, maybe someone just donated 6 tickets to you for something, or lift tickets if you're in a snowy area. This is a quick and easy way to drive engagement on your Facebook page. You can just say, hey, like or comment to enter, and we'll pick a winner at the end of the week. For things where you don't have a sponsor and you don't need to worry about delivering as much value, the Facebook timeline is a great way to do that. And Brian is itching to chime in here, so
yeah. So this was a no-no up until 4 or 5 months ago. It was against Facebook terms of service. So it's become a way for you to engage. And frankly, the reason Facebook did this is that you're more likely to then hit the promote button on Facebook and pay them to make that particular post a promoted post. I want to stress a couple things. One, technically speaking, they need to like or comment on the post, not your page. So saying like our page to enter is actually a violation of terms of service still, although it may change tomorrow. Today, that's the way it is. That said, you could also say something like enter our email list, subscribe to our email list to enter, and then you can sort of quickly look at MailChimp or your provider and see who entered in the date range provided and pick a winner that way. So it's another way to grow your email list. However, with all of this, you want to be mindful, because if you do a timeline giveaway for free, you're setting a precedence. And someone might come and say, well, can you give my stuff away for free? And the whole reason people pay you to run a giveaway is to administer it and promote it. So you have to make the conscious decision, I'm trading revenue in a Facebook timeline giveaway for the added exposure. Sometimes it's a good trade, sometimes it's a bad trade. But doing one of these is not a replacement for the larger social promotions we're talking about, where it's ongoing, sustained, and multi-touch point. I'm hoping this makes sense, because you sort of got the small, medium, and large. And if someone really wants just a little bit of exposure and they're happy to have you give away tickets, okay, that's not bad. If they're expecting to get hundreds of dollars in value the way that they do from a normal weekly, that's not going to happen on the Facebook timeline, or at least not to the same extent. So I'll stop rambling, but I hope that makes sense in terms of choosing which avenue to pursue. The other option is to run it on site. So as you likely know, our technology has a photo contest / essay contest engine built in right into articles, so you can allow comment voting. This can be a terrific way to get people to your website. There's, again, a balance to be had. If it's run on Facebook, people like sort of staying in the walled garden of Facebook, so you're likely to get more engagement that way. It's all a known process for them. However, there are times you want to get people to your website, either because you want to grow your audience numbers or you have other demands that you're trying to accomplish, and so you can run these on your site. One of the benefits of running it on site, other than traffic, is that when people enter to win or vote, they do have to be a member, and again, authenticated, email, Facebook, Google, Yahoo, MSN. So you do get an email address. It's not a right to spam them, but we do have an engagement, and we're able to sort of encourage them to do other things. We do confirm votes and entries and say, hey, do you have an event? Do you have a business listing that you'd like to add? Here's how you do it. So it is a nice way to get people sort of into the membership funnel, which has implications for both of us. And your members can be exported from your site. So you can run them either way, and you can mix and match other things. You can go further and you can talk about things like a Reader's Choice contest, best of voting, which can be run in the directory, no ballot. It's awesome. If you're thinking about doing it, talk to us first, please. You can also run other sorts of contests, like whoever gets the most 5-star reviews. It's a little off the topic for this type of social promotion, but it's again a way to drive engagement and leverage your place in the community to get businesses engaged with you. So now that we've talked through the touch points, hopefully you've been able to see a lot of the benefits to the sponsors, perhaps some of the benefits that exist to you beyond getting paid. We're going to sort of give you the synopsis of what a social promotion is about and what you're really actually selling.
So I'm guessing most of the people on this call have already seen this slide once before when we did training. But as Brian already alluded to, the primary benefits of running a social promotion as a sponsor are they get exposure to your audience on Facebook, on your website, through email, and potentially in print. So that's what you want to lead with. Beyond that, we do everything for the sponsor, and if you have us run it on your behalf, we're going to be doing most of this for you. So they don't have to spend time figuring things out. A lot of small business owners don't have time or just don't want to deal with it, or they're not an expert in Facebook or technology, and they'd rather have somebody else do it. That is something that you can kind of highlight during your sales conversations. Those are the two primary benefits, and of course there's some secondary benefits as well. You can generate foot traffic and revenue from what we call a reward for participation. That could be something like 10% off your next purchase of 50 or more, or $5 off your next oil change, or whatever it may be, but it goes to anyone who enters. So it's a way of literally getting people to print out a coupon, come into the store and spend money. Like we said before, we always have the ability to collect opt-in emails and other data, and we're going to drive some small amount of traffic to their website and Facebook page, although I wouldn't lead with that because that's not really the main benefit of what we're doing with social promotions.
And I'm going to throw in, I didn't have a slide on this because it's sort of an advanced topic, but for those of you thinking like an agency, or you may have had an advertiser say, well, couldn't I just run this myself on my own Facebook page? The short answer is yes. But again, what are they paying for? Administration and promotion. And so we do have a few publishers who've had situations where, for any number of reasons, the client wants to run it on their Facebook page, including driving likes. But again, that's not the most efficient way to do it. In any case, if they're trying to accomplish that, there is an opportunity for that. And so in this case, you can run it on their Facebook page, provided they do need to make you, or us, if we run it, an administrator. Now, you don't get the benefit of it being on your site, of it being on your page, but you can still promote it. So if you're thinking about this, you have that situation, come talk to us. There is revenue to be had. We do charge more because you don't get as many secondary benefits, and by we, I mean you would charge more. But it's something to consider, and it's a way for you to pick up perhaps even more business with very little extra effort. Okay, little tangent, reining it back in here. The weekly restaurant and retailer weekly giveaway, easy for me to say. This should be a staple of your business. Like third page or quarter page ads sort of make up a lot of what you do throughout the book. This is the digital version of that. Every month you should be running at least one of these. And that means 12 a year. Do you have 12 advertisers who fall into the restaurant, retailer, day spa, sort of personal services category? Or perhaps you've got that prospect you've been trying to land? This is a great way. It's not terribly expensive for them. Usually, depending on your audience size, you'll charge between $250 and $500 to run it. So you'll make a little bit of money. But remember, you get all that added exposure, that engagement, and oh, by the way, more businesses seeing you do this stuff saying, it'd sure be nice if they could do that for my business. So you don't need a lot of information. We get a logo, a link, some images. Images do matter. Jakers was a runaway success, and they had great food images. So that's sort of one thing you'd want to look at. If they don't have great imagery, you might want to say, for $100 on top of this, we're going to come out and take some pictures. And you can use them for whatever you want, but we need them for the social promotion. Again, like all of our sponsored social promotions, they pay you, they provide the prizes. In this case, they had 3 prizes. The top prize was only a $75 gift card. We're not talking about giving away a car here. But if it's a desire, and most of us eat dinner occasionally, so it's a great prize. And in this case, we'd like to say try to have about $250 in prizes in total. If they want to give away more, that's great, but that's sort of the threshold for that we target. And of course, a reward for participation. Everyone who enters gets 10% off your next meal at Jakers. Hey, even if I have a 1 in 100 chance of winning, I figure I'm going to go out there in the next month or two, I'll use my 10% off coupon. So on the right, you can see all the various types of businesses, not all, you can see many of the various types of businesses that this works for. There's a lot of them in every single community, and which of them wouldn't love to get in front of your audience for a week, to get the chance to get talked up on Facebook, to be a part of that activity on your website and maybe even in an email. So really this should be a staple, and if you're struggling with seeing it, we want to talk with you about it because businesses love this stuff, and you can make some money in the process. All right, we've already talked a lot about this, but I like to sort of revisit things. So running social promotions have many, many benefits. It grows your audience. It demonstrates that you know what's going on. You're with it with the changing media landscape, even though Locable gets to do all the work. It gives you lots of new value, one-time value that can convert a prospect into a customer and a customer into a recurring customer. But it grows your Facebook fan base. It grows your email opt-ins. And wouldn't you know it, the next time that you run a promotion, or you have a big story you want to feature, or you just, want to say a heat wave's come in and you got an email going out for a local air conditioner company, you can push it to more people on Facebook and more people on email. So why do I need to pay and provide you the prizes if you're getting the benefit of growing Facebook fans and emails? Another way of asking the question earlier, what am I paying for? So you're going to get all sorts of questions from people, especially people who really don't get social media. Kind of funny how that works. But they're paying you to administer and promote the contest. That's it. They can do it themselves. Just like, they could walk outside and say, here's some free stuff, and they could put it on the corner. But if they wanted to promote it in your publication, if they want to talk about a sale that they're having, about their grand opening, and they want to reach a lot of people, your print publication's a good avenue for that. You don't give it away for free because you administer and promote that particular ad. Same thing is true here. Prices are based on reality. So while we're not selling how many fans you have, how many email opt-ins you have, how many page views you have, or any other statistic you'd like to talk about, we're not using that as a selling point. It is indeed a driver of price. So keep in mind, we will work with you to make sure the prices are in line, and as those numbers grow, as you do the things that we identify here and with some of our other conversations around audience developments grow, the price will go up. But it's like buying a car. The price doesn't matter if I'm not interested in the car, so you need to get them interested in what you have to offer, and then you can talk about the price. To wrap up, I'm going to have Ryan talk a little bit about sort of the next biggie on the horizon, which is Mother's Day.
Yeah, before we move on, I did want to say one other thing about the previous slide, and is that a lot of people will say, hey, I want to run it on my Facebook page, and Brian already talked about this before, but you can say, all right, well, we're happy to do that for you, but it's at a premium price, and the reason you can justify that is because we're no longer getting the benefit of you growing your Facebook page or your email opt-ins. Although the email opt-ins you can kind of do either way, but that's neither here nor there.
It actually is a little bit more work, so you can tout that as well. There's legitimately more effort required to administer someone else's page than your own.
And then before we move on, we did have a question from Lisa. She says, we have many new businesses opening. How would this work for a grand opening? I thought maybe you could answer that, Brian.
Yeah, the great thing about social promotions is that they're a big splash. It's like a shot in the arm. So for some people, they've been around forever, and they just want to say, hey, we're still here. Or maybe they have a new Facebook page or website, and they want to, in part, mention that. Again, we're not going to drive a ton of traffic because that's not sort of how these things work, but it at least drives awareness. The same is true for a grand opening. Okay, so you hang your shingle and you put your sign out and you turn the sign over to say open, but now what? So obviously promoting in print is great. The good news is you reach a ton of people and it's respected. The bad news is sometimes the timing is not perfectly aligned for an actual grand opening. If I open on the 14th of the month and the pub comes out on the 1st, well, do I do 2 weeks early or 2 weeks late? And, I need to be there, but it's sort of hard to align. With a social promotion, you can hit it nail on the head, right? We're opening in a week. Here's what it's about. First 100 people in the door and are here. You can pick and mix and match, and you can do a lot of things to build excitement. And it can work back and forth with print and with other digital, and it's obviously not terribly expensive, which is also a nice piece. Now, that leads me to another thing. Unlike print, or web for that matter, where you can sort of always sell another ad and make more space for it, you're a little fixed with the number of social promotions you can run. So the bad news is you can't do $1 billion in social promotions. The good news is there's a natural sense of urgency. How many times have you gone to an advertiser, or a prospect in particular, and they said, I'm really, really interested, but I'm busy, can you come back next month? Well, if I'm a jeweler, there is no next month. There's Valentine's Day. It's the biggest day of the year for your business. Sure, you should continue advertising because people get engaged and have anniversaries and all that. But this is a way, social promotions are a way to say, look, I'm going to do 1 or 2 weeklies a month. If you don't do it, someone else will. So you can say yes or no, and it doesn't really matter to me because I know I'm going to sell it out. And all of a sudden, that shifts the dynamic, and it puts pressure on the advertiser to make a decision that's actually in their best interest. So use these as a tool. We keep talking about all these benefits, and I could probably continue listing them off the top of my head, but use them to drive sense of urgency, to convert the person that's on the fence, to get that new business. Oh, I don't have a lot of money to advertise, which is hilarious to think of if you're thinking that no one knows you exist. But these are ways that you can start to fill that need, demonstrate value, build relationship. It's a lot better for you to build a relationship when you're getting paid than when you're just hoping to eventually get paid, and ultimately convert them into a recurring customer. So I love grand openings as an opportunity for social promotion, provided they're not like a title company, because that's sort of boring and there's not a whole lot of interest in there. But almost any other business would be great.
And I'll just add that we had a couple affiliates that do, I guess you would call, in-person events, and grand openings are a great one to do with that. We had a City View magazine in Fayetteville, North Carolina, had a loft store open up, and they did like a grand opening party, and they did a social promotion, and it was a big night that they did at the store, and it was a very popular event that they held because they have their brand is popular within the community. A lot of people read it, so you could even go beyond just digital in this case and have an opportunity to make money by charging them to be kind of the event host for the night, or the MC, if you will.
That's a great point. Everything can work together in this matter of saying, okay, what are you interested in? What is your staff capable of? And you can find all sorts of related revenue opportunities. And again, we talk a lot about the appetizer and dessert model for sales and approaching your existing advertisers and all that. If you do one of those events, and I mean, a business isn't going to pay you to do one of those events if they're not interested. So they'll give you a quick no thanks or whatever. But if they are interested, they're really satisfied that you're running this event, because who else is going to do it? What other avenue they have to go one place and accomplish all these goals? So you can really deliver a lot of unique value. Great point. And on that, I'll bounce back to where I was going before I forgot to let Ryan add that. So Ryan, go ahead and wrap up with Mother's Day.
Yeah, so Valentine's Day is coming up in 10 to 12 days at this point. Um, the next big one after that is Mother's Day. It's Sunday, May 11th. We are bringing it up now because now is the time to start planning. What do you need to do to secure your sponsors for this Mother's Day contest so that you can include them in print, or leave enough time to run the contest before Mother's Day if you want to, have the prize available for the winner before then. Not have to rush and make this a last-minute thing. Um, we talked a couple weeks ago about putting a schedule together. Hopefully Mother's Day was one that's on there. It's quite similar to Valentine's Day in the types of prizes, but you can also kind of go a little further with spas and salons and things that moms typically like. But start thinking about it now. You probably want to start moving on this in the next 2 to 3 weeks, at least in terms of the planning stage and communicating with your sales team and your editors, and start talking to potential sponsors. If you leave it to the last minute, it's going to be like every other promotion that we tell you about, where you try to pull it together in 3 days and you don't get enough sponsors, and then it's like, you know what, I'll wait till the next one. So let's not let that happen again. Let's get ahead of the curve this time, start thinking about it, and if you'd like help coming up with a theme or a concept or what the prizes should be or who should I approach from a business perspective, give us a ring, shoot us an email, let us help you put that proposal together. We're happy to do so. That's all I really had to say on Mother's Day.
Well, I'll add 2 or 3 quick thoughts. So as you think about this, and you think about any of our promotions, keep in mind women are the primary readers of magazines. They're far more active on Facebook. They're the primary entrants of contests of all sorts. So as you think about that, we need to be cognizant of, okay, are we saying nominate your mom to enter? Are we saying, enter for your chance to win, pamper yourself? You're the mom, so you deserve a break. As a wife, as someone who has a wife with 3 kids, that sounded wrong. I have 3 kids. My wife is a terrific mother. I would like for her to get a great break. I may enter for her, but because women enter most of these, they may want to enter themselves. So we need to make sure that we present the contest in a way where people don't feel funny entering for themselves, or we give them a natural way to enter for others. We also need to be cognizant of the way contests run and end. So with Valentine's Day, really with any of these, you've got 2 choices. Do I make it really a Valentine's Day month contest, meaning it runs throughout the month when people are thinking about it, and as we head up to Valentine's Day, there's sort of this crescendo of interest, and so they can participate, or maybe they're even sharing what their Valentine's Day was like and what could have made it better or something. And so then you don't get the prize for Valentine's Day, but it's sort of thematically aligned with Valentine's Day. Or you go the other way and you say, we're going to have this contest and it's going to lead up to the 14th, and on the 14th we're going to announce the winners. And we're going to try to get you the prize or whatever so that you can give that as a gift for Valentine's Day. There's benefits and drawbacks to each, so you'll want to think about what those are and how people approach the holidays and what you frankly want people to get out of it. You might, for Mother's Day, for instance, say, we want to see your family pictures for Mother's Day. So really the contest is promoted leading up to it, but it's run after. So you can do it in either way, and you might want to couple it with print and your schedule to give more value and drive more revenue, and that might dictate to some extent how you run these. So again, we're happy to help you work with this. The key is identify some great sponsors as the starting point, and then work backwards from there. With that, hopefully this day of social promotions was useful. A lot of these concepts for promotion work for other parts of your business, but they're specific to social promotions. So we're going to sign off in just a minute. If there are any questions about anything we covered or anything else you'd like to have us address, leave those. If there's anything you'd like us to cover in the coming weeks, please let us know that too. So I'll open up the floor and say thank you for joining us.
And just while we're waiting for people to ask any questions you may have, I do want to say one more thing. We focus on social promotions a lot because not only are they a good revenue source for you, but the secondary benefits help with everything else you do, whether that's driving engagement on Facebook or driving people to your website, getting people to comment, or growing your email list. Those are all things that are going to benefit you over the long term. So it's kind of like I hate to use this word, but it's a shortcut to helping you grow your digital business. And that's why we spend so much time talking about social promotions. It's not that we, think this is the be-all, end-all of digital. It's just one very small piece of it, but it has these kind of secondary benefits that you may not realize right away. But I just want to point out that that's why we focus on this as much as we do. Um, So we'll give another 30 seconds or so for questions, and if not, we'll sign off and hopefully see you next week, same time, same place.
All right, folks, have a great afternoon. Hope to hear from you all soon and look forward to working with you on some of these social promotions. Thanks.